The following slides contain short activities for you. Activity 1. Which writing is descriptive and which writing is reflective? Writing 1. I was scared about not saying the right things and not being able to answer questions properly. I did a presentation in my course at university and had felt the same about it initially. During the presentation, I realized that I was desperately trying to prove that I could present as well as my colleagues. I wanted to impress everyone. Early on, it went wrong and I began to panic. Trying to pretend I was confident made the situation worse because I did not admit I needed help. The more I spoke, the more my voice wobbled. Following on from the presentation, my self-esteem is low at work now. However, partly through talking over the presentation and the things that went wrong, I can see several areas that I could get better at. I'm hoping to have a chance to practice with some of the team. Writing 2. I had to talk about the project that I am on. I spent quite a bit of time preparing it in the way that I have seen others make similar presentations. When it came to the presentation, I really wanted to do it well as the presentations were done the week before. Maybe I wanted too much to do well. My efforts to be calm failed and my voice went wobbly. That's how it felt to me anyway. My colleague said afterwards that I looked quite calm despite what I was feeling. In the event, the session was a disaster and has left me feeling uncomfortable in my work, and I even worry about it at home. I need to think about why a simple presentation could have such an effect on me. I am feeling more positive generally, and I can begin to analyze what I could do better in the presentation. It is interesting to see the change in my attitude after a week. I need to think from the beginning about the process of giving a good presentation. So, let's have a look at the answer. Yes, writing 2 is reflective and writing 1 is descriptive. Whereas writing 1 seems to answer to the question what happened, when, where, and who was involved, writing 2 seems to move towards a more analytical and interpretive approach by answering to the question how and why things happen. This is another example of reflective writing. This example incorporates elements of a framework. Can you identify which section is the description, which section is the interpretation, and which section is the outcome? Specific tasks were shared out amongst members of my team. Initially, however, the tasks were not seen as equally difficult by all team members. Cooperation between group members was at risk because of this perception of unfairness. Social interdependence theory recognizes a type of group interaction called positive interdependence, meaning cooperation, and many studies have demonstrated that cooperative learning experiences encourage higher achievement. Ultimately, our group achieved a successful outcome, but to improve the process, we perhaps needed to have a chairperson to help encourage cooperation when tasks were being shared out. In future group work, on the course and at work, I would probably suggest this. Are you ready? Let's check the answers. Okay, the section that says specific tasks were shared out amongst members of my team Initially, however, the tasks were not seen as equally difficult by all team members, is the description of the situation. Observe that this is kept very short. Now the third and the following sentences that discuss the theory are the interpretation of that situation in relation to that framework. The framework is the social interdependence theory. And finally, those sentences in the very end that talk about how the person succeeded in the end and what she could do in order to improve her future work are considered the outcome of this situation, or what the person had learned from this experience. Yeah, well done. And that's the end of this presentation.